Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, game designed by Salvatore, Vasta, published by GMT Games. It's been a while since we had another installment on this. This is the C.U.C.U campaign, affectionately known as the C.U.C.U campaign. It stands for Collapse UK, or Cripple UK, Collapse USSR, which my opponent has done. We are heading into turn December of 42. I think we do 2 turns here, December and January of 43. I will combine them both because, based on the weather die rolls, we don't have the greatest weather. It's poor in both places, in the mild and the warm zone, where he would really be doing things. So, with that, let's go ahead and get started. I believe we skip through the... Yeah, okay. Nobody declares war. There's only, like, what's left? January 42, and the only 2 neutrals are the Netherlands and Portugal. So he's pretty much conquered or allied everything in the bucket. As you can see in my little add-ons I did here to the thing, he has Romania, Sweden, Italy, Spain, Turkey, Yugoslavia, Iraq, and Finland. Those were all allied by him. The rest of these were all conquered, one way or another. I believe the FNA went down without... reason why it's down here is because it went down without actually showing up to fight. So, okay, then we go on to economies here. This is us just... I pretty much had it set up when we started. Germany's up to 32. As you can see, he's doing fairly well in strategic warfare. I haven't really been able to chip away at him. We go to the Western... There's a strategic warfare. There we go. Strategic warfare versus the... Yes, he had subs and I had ultras. So... there we go. Oh, we had a... let me go back a step. At the end of his last turn, he had put this guy in no supply, so he should have come off because he's a garrison. And we totally forgot to take him off, so this is us just putting him where he belongs. And now I think we go into... oh, he starts moving, and I said, wait. We forgot to do strategic warfare. He's +5 to my +2. And we went to combat commitment. I threw an ultra. He did not throw his subs. He decided to hang on to them. He rolled a 4 + 5, which is a 9, halves down to a 5. I managed to only roll a 3, so I still lost a factory, so a wasted ultra, which comes back in 2 turns. So, yuck. Now we go back to he's done his strategic movement. And then I had moved this guy out here. I probably should have moved him all the way down towards Gabe's or something to slow him down last turn, which I didn't do. And he just kind of ran along and said, I don't care. So, and then because he moved, he has a convoy here. He has a full airplane and a convoy sitting down here, and his surface action markers available. So he could actually do an invasion here to, like, Tangiers. So I said, I gotta go defend that, even though I'm giving up most of North Africa to the Germans just wandering through it. I just couldn't do anything about that. So that's me just restacking things. And the Soviets didn't really have one, so now he's moving the Italians. Goes up, takes Tunis, so that he doesn't have to worry about me trying to do naval landings behind him. And of course the Germans just run up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So he takes Algiers and is moving forward to take Oran and whatnot. And I think now he's air striking me in Gibraltar and Tangier. Because it's poor weather, he's a net 0 with that 0 guy. He rolled a 3, got me for 2, and he goes into here at -1. Which he missed on the second one. So he used the airplane that's up in northern Spain to finish me off. And then he moved that Panzer forward. And we were checking for bombers to see where his airplane should be, and he moved that guy out of the way. And the Swede's in. He's just trying to, do his little marching. Moves his fin up to the border. Some Germans and Romanians getting in position for the long term, for the end of 43. And he's done, I believe. Oh no, he moved this Panzer army down. That's what it was. And he has Turks moving into Iraq, which is illegal. We will be fixing that in a moment. And he goes ahead and has an Italian in Durazzo. Then he decides to go ahead and take a pot shot in poor weather against the guy, the Gibraltar guy, which is the 8th Army. So he ends up at... What am I doing? Oh, I went backwards. That was not the way I wanted to do that. So he's at +3 for the armor, 2 for another armor, 1 for a Spaniard. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, -2. So it was 6 -2 because of weather in the city. I don't think he even used his airplanes. Did he? No, I don't even think he used his airplanes. And I was at +3, or +2 rather. He rolled a 3 + 4 as a 7, halves down to a 4. At +2, the worst I can get is a 3, so it's not going to matter. Just adjusting this things. This is him just kind of moving things around again, trying to prep for later on in the war and if he needs to do things down in Spain and such. Oh, and this was an Italian. He moved his air up. He's like, I can move that far, can't I? Went, yeah, you can move. We debated on whether he wanted to be here. Here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he could help in Gibraltar, but if he's here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's 7 to either port, so he can hit either British airplane or fleets or whatever he needs to. Basically, he's setting himself up to out Air Force me. Ultimately, he's got all of the summer of 43 to do this, and he will out Air Force me, I'm pretty sure. And at some point, he's going to get the die rolls and take out Gibraltar. And probably Tangier as well in time. The idea is to have him spend his 43 trying to do this and see if I can't pull off some kind of shenanigan near the end of 43 when he's getting ready for the Russians. It's doesn't look pretty for the Allies. It's going to be a very hard, long slog that I don't know that I'm going to be able to recover from this. So now I think we... Oh, he had to go do his supply. And then I'm trying to figure out where do I want to put this infantry and stuff and where he can get to. And I went, I'm only going to move this far. The Americans. And then I do shenanigans. He says, no, I'm not intercepting that. It's escorted. So I said, okay, well, we're going to go back into Southampton. He's like, okay. And then I said, convoy empty. He's like, go ahead. I said, okay, I'm going to move to Plymouth. And I said, okay, here you go. The Irish are going to move down to... I realized that I was sitting in Dublin. I should have been sitting in Cork because he's going to have a surprise attack marker at some point. And he might just go ahead and take a pot shot because... Reason why, since I have Ireland on my side, Cork here is on C-Zone 7 and 9. 7 is the important one because normally you can only... 2 C-Zones lets you attack into 7 and 8 or 7 and 16. So now I have not just Plymouth, but I have 2 possible ports that I can invade, either into the Bay of Biscay and it still reaches the Normandy beaches, and it also can do like a flanking attack to re-invade Gibraltar after he takes it from me and stuff like that. So Cork is a nice thing to have because it gives you 2 possible invasions all the way to C-Zone 16. So that's why I did that. I wanted to make sure he didn't get a pot shot on it late in 43. And then the convoy is unescorted, and he said, unescorted, let's go for it. We are in poor weather here, so I'm like +2 for British, -2 for convoys. That's a 0. Then -2 for the weather, and -1 for the convoy, so I'm at -3. And he is at -1 because he's +1 for German and -2 for the weather. And then he rolled a 4. -1 is a 3. So he's like, maybe. And I rolled a 6, -3 was a 3, so it was not a maybe. Surface action come back in 2 turns, and the convoy gets to move. If I can get it here. Oh, I was doing my movement points. Landed in Casablanca, came back out here, and then said, okay, we're going back into the North Atlantic. And then I brought the fleet, and it also has a escorted fleet with the 10th, and he's like, nah, I ain't gonna bother to hit it. He could have hit it with this airplane down here, and he's like, nah, not in poor weather. You're just trying to entice me to use up a sortie. And I went, yeah, you got it. Didn't bite. So next up, I think I'm doing this airplane to try and cut down some of the German sorties. And that didn't work real well. He got a 2 for 1 on me. And then I just kept going, and then we go and do bomber command. Oh no, Gibraltar. Goes moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, no shenanigans, invasions from him, hopefully. And then I tried to sail into Germany here. He attacks me with his fighter up north. We were talking about how often he could intercept me. So I drew a path where he could only hit me once when I'm actually at Metz. And we were counting northward, and it's like, no, I can't. And he rolled a 3, which is all he needed to do, and that did 2 sorties on me and no bomb marker. And then I think we're into supply phase now. He's like, as long as you're escorting, my airplanes are not going to bother, so it's just me running up sorties on various units as I'm supplying them. And essentially, he's going to out-sortie me. In the end, I've got more units trying to be supplied than I have sorties available, so I have to do shenanigans with convoys, shifting in and out, and that's when he can hit me with airplanes and everything else. And so then we go over here. We were trying to find I should have had an extra armored unit, and we couldn't figure out where it was, so we said, well, we'll just say that I build it this turn, and it's going to go in Bryansk. So now he's replenishing himself. Now I think we're in the... Oh, he was looking at the Diplomacy Cup. He wanted to see what was in there. It's like there's like there's 5 new events and 2 political successes. So he was trying to see if he should save 5 to pull. Now I believe we're in the Western replacements, which is fairly standard. Bring back all my Brits and my Americans. And in the Russians, I don't think they had anything. And Russians chose not to upgrade anything. Germans built another garrison unit. I think I bopped a garrison unit around here somewhere. I don't remember where. Oh, it was when I invaded Tangiers, I think. So the Russians go ahead and build 3 of their airplanes out. And we go into Diplomacy Cup. And what did we do here? Okay. So here we are. He goes ahead and he got a political success and he's like Portugal or the Netherlands. He's like, neither one's any good to me because I don't have any markers for him to take off. But he's reducing my chances of getting a success. And so I put it back in for the West and then had the Russians pull. Oh, the Russians put in another political success to try and give me even more chance to try and do something next turn. It's kind of a pointless exercise, but we're just having fun with it. And we go to end of turn phase where we're just going to get our stuff off the track and go on the chain gang here. So Americans got another convoy. Russians got another airplane. Germans got their heavy artillery, which is what they really were looking for to try and take out Gibraltar. And then we're into January. And did he roll the weather? He rolled the weather. Which, if we bring that up real quick, so he rolled a 2-2 and a 5. So that's poor and poor in the cold and mild, and then a 5 is severe in the Mediterranean, in the warm zone. So, we move those, and he's like, blah, severe. What am I going to do with severe? So now we go back to doing our production points. It's pretty fast here. I think he gave one. Yeah, he gave one to the Italians this time. Americans keep giving one to the Irish just because they can, just for kicks. And the British are down to 18 because they lost one last turn. And oops, I'm hitting back. Dum-dum. Okay. So now we are to strategic warfare against the West. He's 5. I'm 2. It's 5-2. Did we have... Oh yeah, we both had stuff that we could commit. I think we both committed this time. He's like, enough of that nonsense. Let's keep you going down. So he played subs, I played ultra. He rolled a 6 plus 5 is an 11 halves down to a 6. I rolled a 4 plus 2 is a 6 half down to a 3. So I lost another factory, and Britain is hurting again economically, not able to do anything. I'm not going to be able to replenish myself down in the Mediterranean, and that's going to be the telling blow there. His subs come back in 2, and my ultra, of course, comes back in 6. So, and Then remember last turn, he had moved a Panzer into just inside of Turkey, so it was supplied by hitting like Istanbul and then railing off to Germany. This time around, he said, okay, the reason why I did that is I'm bringing the armor over here. So I am now facing, with my troops trying to defend Tangier, Gibraltar, and Morocco, I am facing all 4 Panzers next turn. It's like, holy Toledo. 4 Panzers, 2 German air, an Italian air. I'm just being out-resourced at this point. There was no strategic movement of either one of us. This is his operations. He moves the infantry up and says, I'll go there. Taking a ran along the way. He brings the Italian fleet. Says, you want to intercept me? I said, no. To Algiers. This airplane goes after the British airplane. So we are 0, and I'm at -3, and we're half. He rolled a 3, half down to a 2, so we got 1 sortie. He ran it up with the Italians, and then this backwards German aircraft goes after this one because he could be 0 halved. He rolled a 1, so it took him 2 sorties to take me out. Did he bring that up to 4? He didn't ring that up to 4. Why didn't he ring that up to 4? I think he got away with 1 here. Yep, he got away with 1. Oh well. And of course, he was just bringing the... he thought about it and said, you know, Brest is far more important than sending a Nord infantry to the south. So he's just setting up for me not be able to do any surprise invasion, you know, take a hex and give him grief. And the Swedes finished the garrisoning of Norway. Yugoslavs are coming up. He's starting to get himself lined up for 1943, the winter, with the Germans. Oh, and then he goes slow marching all the way into Norway. He's like, I can march all the way to wherever. And now he's got Italian garrisons. That was us correcting that Turk, saying he couldn't have been where he was at. He's like, I'm not allowed to be there. Like, yeah, I know. I just realized that. So he's... This is him doing his supply. A lot of places where I can't really invade, he supplies. He thought about, should I take a pot shot? And I said, I don't think it works. Anyway, he's got 1 more sortie on the 6th Luft than he should have. I will tell him we need to correct that. What's this? Oh, this was me attacking, and he rolled an attacker die roll instead of a defender die roll. I ran up that airplane, a couple of sorties. I was trying to make sure that he couldn't hurt me. When I tried to do it, I tried to bomb this turn. Oh, we forgot to do his Italian supply. Then we go back to my... he's at 0, I'm at minus, ridiculous. He rolled a 3 again, so he stopped my bombing. So I'm not getting through, I'm not even getting a pot shot in on the bombing. So, and in this airplane was way up here in Edinburgh, and I decided to bring it down to Plymouth to maybe start trying to dissuade him from even trying to go for Ireland. And once he takes Gibraltar, he'll be able to bring the Italian fleet into C-Zone 7, so I want to be able to damage it if I can. And I think we were done. We're doing supply, and he's like, he had nothing that could intervene with me, so I didn't have to run my fleets. So I could just run up that. And then this is me just moving Russians around a bit, trying to... get ready for my 43 or 44 entry. And we had put this Italian in low supply. He's not in low supply because he's got a rail line all the way back to Italy. And he's like, what am I doing? I'm like, I don't know. Oh no, I think he put him in, he put him in low supply? What the heck? I don't understand. Maybe he had him in low supply, put him to no supply so he could just move him and be able to build him, which, you know, he could have just left him there. So now we are in replacements for the Axis. He's, replacing all those things. This airplane should actually have 2 sorties on it. We miscounted on one of his attacks. And then we do the west. And we got to no upgrades, mobilization for the west. I went ahead and built Force H. We talked about where it should be, and he said you might want to have it there because you're going to have a convoy, and now he'll be able to escort it possibly if you can get the points down. I'm like, yeah, good point. Ultimately, I think I probably should have just left it in Edinburgh because I'm not going to be able to bring a lot in before he can do anything. The Russians built another armored unit and another aircraft, I think. I think they have all 4 out now. Or no, only 3? 3. Oops. Let's go back here. So now we're going into diplomacy phase, and this is the Axis. He pulled a political success. Oh no, I pulled a political success. I said, what the heck, let's put a pro marker in Lisbon just to see if we can get all the miners in the war. And in the Russians, he pulled a no event, I pulled a political success. And I think the Russians, did I do anything with them? I could have sworn I reloaded it with a political success. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't have the points left. Yeah, I spent the Russians down trying to get all their stuff out. So it's pointless. So we're back at the end of turn phase. Again, just stuff coming in off the track. I get another Ultra, Free Forces, Partisans, and the Russians get a whole bunch more to upgrade. And we're at February, so we will be doing the weather. Weather. And he rolls the weather. He gets a 5, 6, and a 2. So that's severe in the cold and the warm or mild zone, but it's only poor in the warm zone. So he has a good chance, I think. He has a chance to go ahead and do attacks on Gibraltar and possibly force it to die, and then I will be in a world of hurt at that point. Come the fair weather turns in 43, like April, May, when he has really good chances of getting fair down here, I think it's going to be a foregone conclusion that he's just going to pound me out of here. I'm going to have a bunch of guys die, and I'll lose like 2 will points from the British, 1 from the Americans, and have to rebuild everything and start over for the build-up of 43. And he'll just run around and do whatever he wants at that point. Probably go ahead and take out Portugal, maybe. Who knows? Okay. And that's the end of the log file. Swoops. There we go. So, that's the end of December of 42 and January of 43. The Germans are set up to start pushing me back in North Africa. His ultimate goal is to try and attack Tangiers from this side. Because if he can get Tangiers to go boom and go away, then he has Gibraltar isolated and it's much easier for him to take. As long as I can hang on at Tangiers for a few turns, The problem is if it was the summer of 43, it might be doable. But since summer of 43 hasn't even started and he's already, pretty much across French North Africa, I'm backed up on Casablanca, Tangiers, and Gibraltar, and I don't really have a lot of units or threats anywhere else in the game. Okay. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing, hit that like button on the YouTube channel. It helps keep the algorithms in YouTube update, and more people will find this when they come looking for it. Excuse the alarm there. And then if you really like what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe. You'll get notified when I put up new ones. We've had some life events on both sides, so it's been a while since we put up another video. We're hoping to start getting back to the weekly sessions, so we'll have a couple turns every week for you, and you can see where the Germans end up here in 43, and they're reset, getting ready for the Russians to come in 44, and the Americans and British to try and do some kind of invasion into France. As always, I'm Jan43. If you like my videos, like I said, hit the like button, subscribe, and until we meet again, stay safe, and bye-bye.